Alright, let's talk Delhi Capitals. Is Rishabh Pant the right man to lead the team? How important is Ricky Ponting going to be? And will Steve Smith be the most important factor for Delhi to get close to that elusive IPL title? All of that and more on this edition of IPL Team Previews with me, Sumedhh Bilgi. Alright, if you haven't done it yet, like, share and subscribe to cricketnews.com. There's a lot coming your way this IPL campaign and we're very excited to do so. Alright, let's talk about Delhi Capitals. They came very close last time, didn't they? They went all the way to the final, but in the final, the Mumbai Indians outclassed them completely. In all three departments, they looked like the better unit all over, and Delhi really didn't stand a chance. But that doesn't mean that Delhi were a poor team. They displayed a lot of good cricket last season. A lot of wonderful things went their way. The Rabada and Nortje partnership really took Delhi all the way. Shikhar Dhawan found the form of his life, and that propelled Delhi all the way. But what's missing from Delhi from last year to this time? There is no Shreyas Iyer, and that's going to be a big factor, not just in terms of the stability that he provides in the middle order, but also his captaincy. Remember, Shreyas has been a captain of the Delhi Capitals for a long time now. He understands the furniture at the franchise, and that is a very important factor. You look at teams that have done well and they've had a certain set leadership group for a long time, and that has gone on to bring success to the team. And unfortunately for Shreyas Iyer and the Delhi Capitals, that will be tested this time around. And look who stepped into Shreyas Iyer's boots to lead the Delhi Capitals in IPL 2021. It's Rishabh Pant. What a fantastic few months he's had, hasn't he? After being dropped in the ODI team, dropped in the T20I side as well, he's now come back, built his fitness, and has had a magnificent last 6 months or so. Clicked so very well for Team India in the tests, in the T20Is and the ODIs, and now he's leading his franchise after being there for a couple of seasons. So big opportunity for Rishabh Pant to take his growth as a cricketer to the next level, and that will be up for test. But remember, there are a couple of stalwarts in this team already. The likes of Ravi Ashwin, who's already led a franchise. The likes of Steve Smith, who was the captain until a couple of games ago in the IPL. All of these guys will also come into play to help Rishabh Pant take this team forward. And none more important than Ricky Ponting. He's been around for a while. He's somebody that has really galvanized this team, brought this group of youngsters closer together, given them a direction, and it seems very clear that he enjoys being in this place, and that was evident in that little interview that he did where Rishabh Pant was poking around, having some fun with him as Ricky Ponting spoke to the broadcasters last IPL. Everybody remembers that, but that has gone on to show that this team really bonds very well, and that is very important if you are to find success in the IPL. Now let's take a look at what the Delhi Capitals did in the 2021 IPL auction. Now, a couple of interesting signings there. Of course, Tom Curran was picked up for 5.25 crore. Steve Smith was picked up for 2 crore. Everyone thought at that time that was a bargain. Let's go on to see how important that will be for the Delhi Capitals in the time to come. Sam Billings, I think, is a very good signing for 2 crore. He is an underrated cricketer. I think he's somebody that could really add firepower in that middle order for the Delhi Capitals, if at all Steve Smith does not fire. So he's a fantastic potential replacement for Steve Smith in case Smith does not fire. And then of course you have Umesh Yadav, who was picked up for base price, and he is somebody that could even go past Ishant Sharma to get a place in the 11 come match day 1. That's how good Umesh Yadav has been in franchise cricket as well. And apart from that, of course, there were a couple of young Indian players that were picked up. So Delhi Capitals, all in all, knew what they wanted to do in the auction. They wanted to get a couple of replacements, couple of additions that they wanted to sign, but they could not factor in the Shreyas Iyer factor, because at that time Shreyas was in good form. He was playing for India until that injury happened in the England series. But now they have to go back to the drawing board and take a look at how they're going to fill that gap up in the middle order. The obvious replacement is Ajinkya Rahane, but where does Ajinkya Rahane really walk into this team at this point of time is something that we have to take a look at. Alright, let's take a look at a potential Delhi Capitals 11, shall we? From the outset, it was very, very clear that this is an Indian heavy 11. We spoke about it last time as well. But now with Shreyas Iyer being out of the fray, you're suddenly looking for Indian options in that middle order. Ajinkya Rahane obviously is the natural replacement who will come into play. But we've had questions on Ajinkya Rahane's form for a long, long time. So anyway, let's take a look at the 11, and you obviously have to start with Shikhar Dhawan and Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi did struggle last IPL, but now after his form in the recently concluded domestic series, he walks into this team and he'll be in there with some confidence, will he not? After these two gents comes in the elusive number 3 spot. You saw Shreyas batting there, but now I think it's time for Steve Smith to own that place. He comes in with a wealth of experience and I think he fits in nicely into number 3. At 4, please play Rishabh Pant. He's somebody who's done that role for India in the last few months, and I think he as captain should really put himself out there. 3 I think is a little early for Rishabh. At 3 you need to be a little more technically sound and astute. Not saying Rishabh is not, but the kind of personality that he is, he fits into number 4 really, really well. Now after Pant, I think Rahane will start at 5, and then Stoinis comes in at 6, Akshar at 7, Ashwin at 8, Nortje at 9, Rabada, and one of Ishant there, Umesh at 11. So that is my Delhi Capitals 11. I think all in all, a very solid team. Without Shreyas, they look a little depleted in the middle order. They have a few questions to solve, but I think Ricky Ponting will have already gone to work to try and understand that. And one thing that will really help Ponting is having Steve Smith next to him, a fellow Australian, somebody who he has worked with in the past as well. Their rapport and understanding, along with Ashwin and Rahane's leadership skills and Rishabh's enthusiasm, will really bring Delhi Capitals together and put them in a good place. You'd like to hope. Concerns for Delhi Capitals. Now you look at the concerns, and the one obvious one is, where are the big runs going to come from? If Shikhar Dhawan does not have a big IPL, then where do the runs come from? Then does the onus go down to Steve Smith? Does Steve Smith then become the player who says, I'm going to be the anchor of this team, I'm going to try and bat for 20 overs, you guys play around me and take that forward? Or does Steve Smith, will Steve Smith be given the license to go out and go slam bang action? I think it'll be the former. Steve Smith will turn out to be the anchor while everybody plays around him, and the onus will be on Rishabh Pant to score a lot of the runs. He's given us those impact performances, and but this time, being the captain and also being the form that he is in, all eyes will be on Pant, and it'll be interesting to see how he copes with the pressure. He's done well in the recent past with India, but can he replicate that in the IPL in this capacity as captain will be the biggest question that Delhi Capitals will have to face, and we will see how they cope with that as well.